Hello, hello, hello. Okay. What the hell? What does that even mean? Hello, everybody. Back on stream. We are going to start the Kahoot at 6:15. Man, how's your afternoon been? I hope you've had a good day today. Me personally, I spent the whole day sleeping. Yeah, I don't know why. Probably just really tired. Yeah, I don't know. Monday night, Tuesday night, slept early, but yet still felt exhausted on Wednesday, and then now I just slept the whole afternoon, and now I feel great. See, so much that sleeping can do for you. Oh man, what's this? Just my email. My spam email, so it doesn't really matter if you see. Oh, do we have to wait 4 minutes? I don't know why I'm waiting 4 minutes. Anyway. Only 3 people, there's only 3 prizes. Wow. Oh, I can copy this to the link. Wow, okay. Guess we'll just wait. We have 3 people. It's a shame that we couldn't do it in class, and that my professor was like, nope. So, this is about the best we're getting. Hopefully boring here. Let's test our patient. 3 minutes. We can wait 3 minutes, right? So the names we've got are Tesh, ZZ, and Max C. Don't even know if I can identify these people in real life. Oh well, should be okay. Come on, 3 more minutes. Why is time pass so slow? Now let's not look at that. That's the questions itself. All right. I guess I should just let you guys know I'm starting my dumpling business. On my way to getting that permit from Wellington City Council, and after that, I can start selling and making dumplings. It's gonna be called Dumpling Sun, and in Cantonese that's Gao Gao Zai, and Mandarin that's Jiao Jiao Zi, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Pork dumplings, beef dumpling, vegetarian dumplings. Those are probably what we're gonna be starting for, and they're $10 for 10, and you can buy tea for $2. I think that's a pretty reasonable price. Like, it's been a while since you can find $10 lunches, can't haven't you? No, what happened to my English? It's been a while since people have seen $10 lunches in New Zealand because everything is so expensive here. But yeah, that's gonna be how it is. Also, anybody notice that, I feel like as you get older, you get lonelier, and that's kind of sad, you know, especially I guess in your 20s when you just moved out of home and yeah, guess you spend more time alone. But I don't really mind. Not the end of the world. All right, I just have to keep talking for 1 more minute, and then we'll start the Kahoot. Yeah, I don't know what kind of revision we're gonna do today. So study stream supposedly. So we'll go until 6 to 8. I don't know what kind of study we could do. I could do the same thing as before and just make notes on screen, but that could be quite tiring. Yeah. Oh, there's a Kathy as well. Alright, lucky you. So there is going to be some kind of competition. Oh, okay, look. Oh, looks like FCOM has a test coming up soon. Kahoot! Kahoot! What a classic game. Alright, there's a Kathy and there's a Catherine. Okay. Okay. I think people have been waiting long enough. Okay, I'll give it 1 more minute, just in case anyone else comes. 6:16. Alright, we'll just wait a bit, ever so slightly. We can wait a minute. Oh, a Thomas as well. Wow. Alright, 1 more minute. So we're starting at 6:16. Let's go, Kahoot. Some of them questions I find out funny questions, and most of them are serious questions. So you better get these right. I'll read out the questions as well, just so you can hear the sound effects of my mouth. Come on. This is the longest 5 minutes I've ever waited in my life. 6:16. Alright, let's start. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Who are your class reps? Come on, you guys should know this. I had friend from my friend Juan Castex. He helped me do this Kahoot. It's a bit worrying. Can't see any answers yet. All right, next. Let me go. Who are your lecturers? Oh, 8 answers. How many people are even playing? I can't even remember. Oh, this one. Oh, come on. This one was easy. Oh well. 1,500 points. Alright, if you're playing, I want you to take a screenshot when you win so you can get your prizes. What is not a feature of Rule of Law? Alright, nice. Sort of. I feel like I made a quiz with a Kahoot with good difficulty. When was the first exam? Okay. And whose birthday was it during our first exam? Oh, it was Marmory's birthday. At least two of you got it. No, it was not Professor Joel's birthday. Okay. 5. What are the two sources of Aotearoa New Zealand's law? Come on, English law, French law, American law, Te Kaka Maori. Which one is it? I want the winners to take a screenshot of them winning and then present to me, and you can get your prizes. The bike, the 5 stack of books, or the 30 bucks. Yep. There we go. 6. What is a rahui? Yay! I'm a bit disappointed. Number 4, but anyway, nice work with those two people who got rahui right. What is equity? Oh. Okay. Nice. I wonder if some of these people are even law students. Maybe some of them aren't even law students, they're just playing. That's fine. What is the best definition of tapu? Come on, law class, you got this. Oh, more people are joining. Wow. And that's why there's 11 answers. Ooh. Oop. Leaderboard. Izzy, WH, and Tesh on top at the moment. But they can still be beaten. Beaten. Who is Paul's favorite American footballer? Come on. Okay, good. That was really fast. That was very fast. Oof. Question 10. What is the role of the Waitangi Tribunal? Oh, I spelled the word regarding wrong. Compensate monetary damages to overrule any legislation that goes against the treaty's principle. Hey! What is the principle present in Article 1 of Te Tiriti? Is it Tiriti or Tiriti? Because I've heard my mom say Tiriti, which is very interesting. Tiriti. Could be Titility, or it could be Tetidity. I think it's Tetidity though. 6. Oh, one. Only one person got this right. Maybe Mana was present, arguably, but I think what the answer was Kawanatanga. Oh, what is my Twitch handle? You guys should know this one. what, what is my Twitch handle? Have you guys been paying attention? It's the same as my YouTube handle. Mm. Oh, wow. Okay. 3 close. That's the name of the company on the hat that I've registered. And I actually do have a New Zealand business number registered with called Kiang. The Kiangster is the one, and then the rest are just yeah. All right. Let's see. Next question. Does New Zealand have a codified constitution? Do we have a codified constitution? Hmm. Think carefully. The answer is no, we do not. Congrats to those 6 people who got it right. Oh, wait, it's a close game. Close game. Is the Treaty of Waitangi directly enforceable through New Zealand law? Yep. Nice work. What is the Aotearoa New Zealand system of government? Hey, okay, nice. 3 people. It's monarchy is correct, but it's actually a constitutional monarchy. 16. It's a lot of questions. What is the most common hair color of professors? Come on. What's the most common hair color? Is it black? Is it grey? Is it brown? Or is it blonde? It's grey. Grey is the most common hair color. Paul has grey hair, Mamadi has grey hair, and Joel Colin Rios has grey hair. This one was my favorite question. I don't know why. What is a trademark? Nice. I made these questions relatively hard because like not everybody is getting them right. There's like a lot of them. A lot of people are getting them wrong. So, how many readings are there in Parliament? Oh, if you're paying attention. 2. Yeah, that was fast. How many people are playing? 5. 11 people. All right. Ooh. Oh, that was a big shift. That was a big shift. 19. What is a patent? I worked on this Kahoot on Sunday. It's gonna hopefully to do it at a lecture on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. Paul didn't let me, so let's do it. Okay. What does the crown represent? Only cabinet? Only the judiciary? Only parliament? All 3 branches of government. Come on. You guys can do this. Okay. Oh. Alright. How many essays will be in the final exam? Come on, if you want to pass the exam, you gotta know this. Surely your tutors told you this. Yep. 6 of you know. Yeah, there's gonna be 4 essays in our final exam. Big sad. That's gonna be tough. Okay, 22 out of 30. What is not part of Aotearoa New Zealand's constitution? Oh. Oh man. You didn't see the not. I feel kind of guilty now. That was kind of mean. Okay. Which is New Zealand's head of state? It should be who is New Zealand. No, is it which? Is which correct? Anyway, which or whom? Now, whom? I feel whom's a really weird word. Hey, 8 people got it right. On what grounds did the Supreme Court rule against Prime Minister Muldoon? That was really fast. Is the Treaty of Waitangi a legally enforceable and binding document in statute? Oh, this is similar to another one. Yeah, one person got that. Okay, didn't change much. The points. Who keeps writing on the whiteboard? Yeah, who is it? I'm actually curious who it is. I actually don't know the answer. You guys have to tell me. Oh wow. Yeah, it's actually me. I do it after my quant lecture. The room's free, and then I'll just scribble on the wall something nice to encourage the class. But yep. What is the doctrine of precedent? Man, I want some ice cream. Okay. Yeah. Which act allowed courts in Aotearoa, New Zealand to have jurisdiction over both common law and equity? Which law? Oh. Oh, yeah, the Judicature Act. Nice work to those 2 people who got that. Oof. Is this the last question? No, it's the second last question. Who is the best lecturer? Who is the best lecturer? Choose the right answer. All of the above. Eh, I like how everyone said Joel. Yeah, he was pretty good though. No, okay, now this is the real question. Which is not a right given under the Bill of Rights Act 1990? Ooh. Which is not. It's a negative question. Which is not a right given under the Bill of Rights Act 1990. Wow, nobody got that right. Nobody got that right. Okay. Let's see who won. Third place, Tesh. Yay! Second place, Maxi. And first place, damn, WH. Alright. And runner-ups, Izzy and Kathy. Okay, I need to take a screenshot of this. So go on your, if you are WH, Maxi, Tesh, please take a photo of your screen that shows that you won. And WH, you get the first pick of the 3 prizes, either a second-hand bike, a stack of 5 books, or $30 in cash. And then Maxi, it's your preference, and then Tesh, you get whatever's left. So yay, thank you for playing, everybody. Appreciate it. Yay. Alright. How do I save this? Let's put it here. Kahoot winners. Yay. Also, I can't even book out a pool, which is sad. I called Kilburnie, I called Lower Hutt, Stokes Valley, and none of them will do it. So it's kind of big sad. View summary. Nobody got the last question right. 19% were the correct answers. Wow. Man, this quiz was tough. I must have made a pretty tough quiz. Yay! Alright, send that off. Too much delay. Sorry to hear about the delay. Was it okay though? Alright. What are we gonna do now? Let's listen to some nice stream beats though. Damn, I'm hungry. I'm still hungry. I need to get some extra dessert or something. Um, let's go figure out what's in the exam. Let's go Nuku. I know I actually have some new stuff I'm behind on. I think I missed a quiz. I have another quiz I'm gonna miss today. Great. I think top five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think I'm pretty sure for Quan 102, they only take into account your top 5 quizzes, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That's it. I don't know why I'm here. Okay, let's look at law. I'm pretty sure the information about the test was released. I'm just gonna have a look at it now. Alright, let's see. Module. Is it in assignments? Assessment info. Your quiz 3 and 4, by the way, are going to be reopened on Thursday, and you'll have 24 hours to do it. So just. I thought there was information about the test. Oh, here it is. Final test document. Final test. Here we go. 2022, trimester 1. Oh, but that's just. Okay. Didn't say module 8. This is week 12. I can't believe we did 8 weeks already. Okay, it's just a past paper. We'll have a look at it. Let's download it. Okay, Victoria University Wellington, final test 2022. 4 questions worth 25 marks. 100 total. Look at last year's exam. Moana Jackson once described Rangatiratanga as a total political authority. Identify how the idea of rangatiratanga has featured in the constitutional development of Aotearoa New Zealand. To what extent you consider that our legal system and constitutional structures uphold or undermine rangatiratanga? In your answer, you may refer to material dealt with in this course, including readings, lectures, cases, tribunal or reports on legislation. Discuss whether one finds New Zealand's constitution. New Zealand has a strict doctrine of separation of powers. Discuss whether you agree with this statement. The main role of judges is similar to interpret law in an impartial and objective way. Using what you have learned in the course, discuss whether you agree with this statement or not. Okay, interesting. Trying to think what we can do to prepare for the exam. So if I look at my notes, what do my notes say? What have we been doing in the laws 121? There's FCOM. There's laws 121. So the content of this exam it's probably going to be about separation of powers, intellectual property, judges making law. You know what would be great if they just told us what was going to be in the exam. I feel like they haven't really told us what's in the exam. All right, my email. Lee. Me winner. What's your email? My email should be on Nuku though. I think. I don't know if I should type it in chat. So you just email me on my public email, kiangster1@gmail.com. There we go. That's the public email. Oh, I'm tired. Alright. How are we going to study for this final exam? I'm still confused. Alright. I guess the main topics in this exam are going to be... So yeah, I think there's going to be 4 different topics because there's 4 different questions. But theoretically, they could do 2 questions on one topic. So what I've got so far is separation of powers, intellectual property, judges making law, and maybe parliament? Could that be one topic? Constitution. I'm going to write down constitutional law. I feel like I have a hunch that that's kind of correct. But constitutional law is similar to separation of powers. I'm going to work on the course notes. Word online. I feel like tomorrow Paul's gonna go over in the lecture what's gonna be in the exam, so should be okay. This music's pretty fire though. Alright, sorry if there's not much commentary. What I'm gonna do is make notes on this. Alright, what are we looking at? Tetiriti O Waitangi Module 3. Okay. Tetiriti O Waitangi Module 3. Treaty of Waitangi. Tetiriti 1840. Treaty of Waitangi Act 1875. 1975. Waitangi Tribunal. Okay. Interesting music. Precursor to Treaty of Waitangi is the Declaration of Independence. History of Treaty of Waitangi, Tetiriti. Precursor to Treaty of Waitangi is the Declaration of Independence 1835 written by James Buzzy. First signed February 6, 1840 between the British Crown and the Rangatira of Aotearoa. Treaty signed at Waitangi, North Island. Key figures equals Tamati Wakaheni, Rangatira. Supporter for the treaty, Maori. James Busby, British resident 1802 to 1871. Wanted power, but held no official government position. Drafted and distributed He Whakaputanga, led United Tribes of New Zealand. Video, this YouTube video, I guess. Translated by Christian missionaries from English to Te Reo Māori. Intentions of each party: Maori wanted to share governorship and resources of land. Pake wanted to share resources but complete sovereignty over land. Recap: lived off the land in a sustainable manner on food such as paua, meat, native vegetables arrived in Aotearoa from Micronesia, Asia Pacific in 1300s. Lived as divided Hapu and Iwi, led by dozens of rangatira in North Island and South Island. Polytheists who believed in gods such as Maui, Tangaroa, Dongo, Rangiapapa, Tane, Mahuta. Weapons consisting mostly of spears and other non-gun weapons. Significant disadvantage against the British Crown. Okay. Well, let's look at the modules. Alright, here we go. Module 3. And here's the Treaty of Whitehall. Let's read it. Her Majesty Victoria, Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, regarding with her royal favour the native chiefs and tribes in New Zealand, and anxious to protect their just rights and property and to secure them from and secure to them the enjoyment of peace and good order, has deemed it necessary in consequence of the great number of Her Majesty's subjects who have already settled in New Zealand and the rapid extension of emigration from both Europe and Australia, which is still in progress, to constitute and appoint a functionary properly authorised to treat with the Aborigines of New Zealand for the recognition of Her Majesty's sovereign authority over the whole or any parts of those islands. Her Majesty therefore being desirous to establish a settled form of civil government with a view to avert the evil consequences which must result from absence of necessary laws and institution alike to the native population and her subjects, has been graciously pleased to empower and authorize me, William Hobson, a captain in Her Majesty's Royal Navy, consul and lieutenant governor of such parts of New Zealand as may be, or there hereafter shall be ceded to Her Majesty, to invite the Confederated and Independent Chiefs of New Zealand to concur in the following articles and conditions. The Chiefs of the Confederation of the United Tribes of New Zealand and the separate and independent chiefs who have not become members of the Confederation cede to Her Majesty the Queen of England absolutely without reservation all rights and powers of sovereignty which said confederation or individual chiefs respectively exercise or possess, or any may be supposed to exercise or to possess over their respective territory as the sole sovereigns thereof. Her Majesty the Queen of England confirms and guarantees to the chiefs and tribes of New Zealand and to the respective families and individuals thereof the full, exclusive, and undisturbed possession of their lands and estates, forests, fisheries, and other properties which they may collectively or individually possess so long as it is their wish and desire to retain the same in their possession. But the chiefs of the United Tribes and individual chiefs yield to Her Majesty the exclusive right of preemption over such lands as proprietors thereof may be disposed to alienate at such prices as may be guaranteed upon the respective proprietors and persons appointed by Her Majesty to treat with them in that behalf. In consideration thereof, Her Majesty the Queen of England extends to the natives of New Zealand her royal protection and imparts to them all the rights and privileges of British subjects. William Hobson, Lieutenant Governor. Now, therefore, we, the chiefs of the Confederation of the United Tribes of New Zealand, being assembled in Congress at Victoria in Waitangi, and we, the separate and independent chiefs of New Zealand, claiming authority over the tribes and territories which are specified, after our respective names having been fully made to understand fully the provisions of the foregoing treaty, accept and enter into the same in the full spirit and meaning thereof, in witness which we have attached our signatures or marks at the places and dates respectively specified. Done at Waitangi at the 6th day of February in the year of our Lord 1840. Oh wow, that is very long. How come it took me so long to read? I guess it is a pretty heavy body of text. Alright, let's have a look. Module 3 overview. Let's see. Hmm. Alright, I'm not allowed to watch this video on stream. Go back. Go back to modules. I'm not allowed to watch that video because it's copyrighted. Okay, let's go. There's not much stuff on module 3, to be honest. Okay, there's so if we look at the modules, yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow we need to get more information about what's going to be on the test. But other than that, we should be able to work on. We've already got the history of the Treaty of Waitangi, and then history. So we've got a brief overview of the treaty, the history of the Tertidity, recap on. So it kind of built the context. Let's keep going. Let's write significance of Tertidity and Treaty of Waitangi today. Right. Significance of Tertidity and Treaty of Waitangi today. Oops. Get rid of bold. Just look for Treaty of Waitangi. Oh, let's look at the Y262 claim. That looks interesting. Because that's something about the Treaty of Waitangi. And the Peter Ellis case. Alright. The Treaty of Waitangi is now considered part of New Zealand's constitution. Constitution as something. The Treaty of Waitangi is now considered part of New Zealand as something important. The Treaty of Waitangi is now considered part of New Zealand as something important to the founding of Aotearoa as a bicultural nation. I've got a whole book here about it. New Zealand's constitutional law in New Zealand. Let's have a read of it. Let's keep looking about Treaty. Let's look at the Treaty of Waitangi Act. Treaty Waitangi Act. Let's have a look at it. An act, what does it do? An act to provide for the observance confirmation of the treaty principles of the Treaty of Waitangi by establishing a tribunal to make recommendations on claims relating to the practical applications of the treaty and to determine whether certain matters are inconsistent with principles of the treaty. Alright, the Treaty of Waitangi. (1975 or 85? 1975. Creates the Waitangi Tribunal to make recommendations. The Treaty of Waitangi Act 1975 creates the Waitangi Tribunal to make recommendations about to Information about claims. Related practical applications of the treaty. Wow, why tongue tribunal? How do I make it so I don't have to scroll like this? Anyway. My neck needs to stretch. Alright. A judge. A judge or retired judge of the High Court must sit on the treaty or on the tribunal. I'm gonna put a 50-minute focus timer. Alright. And Section 6. Under Section 5. Okay. That land or interest functions as a tribunal to make recommendations in accordance with Section 8D that land or interest in the land no longer be subject to resumption under Section 27B of the State-Owned Enterprises Act 1986. Well, the main thing is the main functions of the tribunal according to section 5 are to inquire into and make recommendations upon in accordance with this act any claims submitted to the tribunal under section 6. Mm-hmm. Alright, I think that's enough. Jurisdiction. Wow, okay. Man, reading legislation is kind of boring. Alright, let's look at some more stuff. Why 2262 claim? Oh, here we go. The Y262 claim. What's toner? I don't know what that means. Agriculture, an object or natural resource which is highly prized. Tauna. I think it's Tauna? Maybe. Maori control over Tauna. Tino Rangatira. Tino Rangatira Tangas. Maori authority and self-determination. So it's kind of like sovereignty. Oh, oh wow, okay. Y 262 claim. There's actually a website dedicated to Y262. Y262 claim began when activists challenged the crown about The Y262 claim began when activists challenged the crown about policies and laws which supposedly took away Maori control over Taona. Treasured possessions. Other things. Alright. How many people is that? In October 1991. Sana Murray Waitai. Waitai. John Hippolyte. Tama Poata. And lawyer Lorna Jackson lodged the native flora and fauna claim with the Waitangi Tribunal. Okay. Asserts Maori control over things Maori. Maori control over things Maori. Native flora and fauna claim, okay. Examines the actions of present Crown policies. The actions of present Crown policies and practices rather than past ones. Treasured possessions. Oh man, I'm tired. Possessions Tangible and non-tangible. Alright. I have 45 minutes more of this. Is there a report or something? In 1997, the first Waitangi Tribunal hearing was held at Motuti in Far North. It took to 2003 to hear all the claimant evidence on Motu, and it wasn't until 2011 that Waitangi. Yeah. What's the report? Sort of Ko Aotearoa Tene. Two six. Here we go. Waitangi Tribune today, 2nd of July 2011, releases a report into the Y262 claim recommending wide-ranging reforms to laws and policies affecting Maori culture and identity and calling for Crown Maori relationship to move beyond grievance to a new era based on partnership. Ko Aotearoa Tene, this is Aotearoa, or this is New Zealand, is the tribunal's first whole-of-government report addressing the work of more than 20 government departments and agencies. It is also the first tribunal report to consider what the treaty relationship might have become after historical grievances are settled, and how that relationship might be shaped by changes in New Zealand's demographic makeup over the next 30 to 40 years. The tribunal found that as a result of historical settlements and resulting tribal economic renewal, along with growth in the Maori population and other social changes, New Zealand sits poised at a crossroads, both in race relations and on our long quest for a mature sense of national identity. More than 170 years after the treaty, we still seem to bear the burden of mutually felt attitudes from our colonial past, with Maori feeling that their culture is marginalized, while non-Maori feel that Maori will require undeserved privileges at their expense. Oh what? Oh no, I just skipped all of it. That was quite long. Let's just read the whole thing. Yet these fears mask an underlying goodwill and mutual respect between New Zealand's and Newfoundland cultures. This has made the process of settling historical grievances possible and is reflected in the increasing acknowledgement that Maori identity and culture is now a vital aspect of New Zealand identity and culture. New Zealand, the tribunal says, is beginning a transition to a new and unique national identity. But for this transition to succeed over the next decade or so, the Crown Maori relationship, still currently fixed on Maori grievances, must shift to a less negative and more future focused relationship at all levels. The relationship must change from the familiar late 20th century partnership built on the notion that the perpetrator's successor must pay the victim's successor for the original colonial sin into a 21st century relationship of mutual advantage in which, through joint and agreed action, both sides end up better off than they were before they started. This is the Treaty of Waitangi Beyond Grievance. The tribunal said the treaty envisages I can't read. The tribunal said the treaty envisages the Crown Maori relationship as a partnership in which the Crown is entitled to govern, but Maori retain Tino Rangatiratanga, full authority over the taonga. This partnership framework provides the way forward for the Crown Maori relationship, but in many aspects, current laws and government policies fall short of partnership, instead marginalizing Maori and allowing others to control key areas of Maori culture. This leads to a justified sense of grievance and also limits the contribution Maori can make to national identity and to New Zealand's economy. Current laws, for example, allow others to commercialize Maori artistic and cultural works such as haka and tā moko without iwi or hapu acknowledgement or consent. They allow scientific research and commercialization of indigenous plant species that are vital to iwi or hapu identity without input from those iwi or hapu. They allow others to use traditional Maori knowledge without consent or acknowledgement. They provide little or no protection against offensive or derogatory uses of Maori artistic and cultural works. And they sideline Maori and Maori cultural values from decisions of vital importance to their culture. For example, decisions about flora, fauna, and wider environment that created Maori culture, and decisions in how education, culture, and heritage agencies support the transmission of Maori culture and identity. Iwi and Hapu are therefore unable to fulfill their obligations as kaitiaki towards their taonga, and yet these kaitiaki obligations are central to the survival of Maori culture. Ko Aotearoa Tene recommends reforms of laws, policies, and practices relating to health, education, science, intellectual property, indigenous flora and fauna, resource management, conservation, the Maori language, arts and culture, heritage, and the involvement of Maori in the development of New Zealand's positions on international instruments affecting indigenous rights. These recommendations include law changes and the establishment of new partnership bodies in several of those areas. Alright, we'll put this down. That's a good quote. One thing that's difficult about studying, in my opinion, is you have to distinguish what needs to be known from what doesn't need to be known. So what's relevant and what's not, and what's irrelevant. So I feel like in our society we just have so much information, but we often find it difficult to determine what's actually important for writing. important. Let's see, we keep reading. These reforms aim to establish genuine partnerships in which Maori interests and those of other New Zealanders are fairly and transparently balanced. It is time to move forward, the tribunal said. As a nation, we should shift our view of the treaty from that of a breach contract, which can be repaired in the moment, to that of an exchange of solemn promises made about our ongoing relationships. There is a growing community realization that New Zealand wins when Maori culture is strong. We have an opportunity to take this stage further through genuine commitment to the principles of the treaty. Such a commitment will not only fulfill at last the promise that was made when the Crown and Tangata Whenua entered their partnership at Waitangi, it will also pave the way for a new approach to the treaty relationship. As a relationship of equals, each looking not to the grievances of the past but with optimism to a shared future. It is, in other words, time to perfect the partnership. Okay. Whoosh. Man, this is a long article. So what's volume 1 and volume 2? 298 pages. I love that. Man, this is... I feel like I can't write like tons into it. I guess we'll just have to learn to read fast. Okay, letters of transmittal. Coupes people, Cooks people, Crusters, Weiss. Is it like a summary? Terrier Maori. Let's just ask a question first. What is the Y262 claim? There's got to be like some kind of summary. How do people read all this? 245. Let's go to page 245. Conclusion. There we go. It's not... Even the conclusion is pretty long. Okay. Over the 171 years since the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, paving the way for two peoples to live side by side in New Zealand, the Crown has largely supported and promoted one of our two founding cultures at the expense of the other. At times, the official attitude of Maori culture has been suppressive, at others, it has been simply neglectful. Steady changes in the way the Crown regards its treaty obligations over the last few decades have begun to turn these attitudes around. But on any reading, there are still many areas, IP law, cultural harvest, traditional healing, to name just a few, where Maori cultural perspectives are on the outer. The key problem for Kaitiaki is that have little or no control over their relationship with Tauna. Am I saying that right? Tauna? Somebody correct me. Don't really know, but I'll try my best. Sometimes the crown exercises that control, sometimes it is others such as commercial interests or property owners, only very rarely is it kaitiaki. In short, there is little room in current New Zealand law and policy for Mataranga Maori and for the relationship upon which it is founded. We have in this report just the ways in which this can and should change. Sometimes we propose the formation of a new entity. At other times, we recommend legislative amendments to give greater recognition to kaitiaki interests or clarify Maori roles in decision making. But on many occasions, what we believe is needed more than anything is a change in mindset, a shift from the old approach that valued only one founding culture to one in which the other is equally supported and promoted. And the advantage New Zealand would hold by its embrace of both, along with newer cultures from other lands, is widely recognized. In taking such steps, the government would be fulfilling its treaty duties while also acting in the best interests of all. In some cases, it would be falling into line with international trends, exemplified by the worldwide adoption of the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. In others, particularly the accommodation of indigenous interests in contemporary law, IP law, it has the opportunity to be truly innovative. Resolution of this claim is actually a chance for New Zealand to be recognised as a world leader in the challenging arena of Indigenous peoples' rights. In making this shift, the Crown will need to accept its own core role in preservation and transmission of Maturanga Maori. While it is Maori who must keep their culture alive, the Crown has great responsibility too. This stems only partly from its past failures to protect Maturanga Maori. It relates to be also to be the accepted role of the state in educating the nation's young, and the fact that few opportunities exist today for Maori to learn their culture in the settings where it was traditionally handed down. Moreover, it arises from the fact that Maori culture is our national culture, helps give all New Zealanders a sense of who they are. It may well also be that Maori live healthier and more productive lives when they are secure in their own cultural identity and when their identity has a secure place in the national story. In accepting this role, the Crown can no longer view Maori culture as other. It must embrace the idea that it represents Maori too, and be prepared to take on more of a Maori complexion and outlook. Doing so will, of course, not lessen the need for the Crown and iwi to engage as treaty partners. In fact, the adoption of true forms of partnership is crucial to the protection of Mataranga Maori and the exercise of kaitiakitanga. Partnership requires an acceptance of shared responsibility through the Crown bringing its support to the table and Maori their motivation. In other words, kaitiaki communities must be empowered through their joint efforts with the Crown. Grassroots commitment must not be stifled by official control. The treaty interest must, of course, be balanced with other interests such as those of regional museums, copyright holders, mountain clubs, nurserymen, but to a large extent those other interests are already taken into account in current law, policy, and practice. It is high time to elevate the treaty interest to its rightful place alongside them. It is also important to acknowledge that treaty interests are often as not in alignment with those other sectors of the community. To protect kaitiaki interest in Tanoa is in many cases to protect. Are we not live anymore? We're still live, alright. We acknowledge that there will be some unavoidable costs in our proposals for new bodies and regulatory frameworks. We accept that the government coffers are not full after the combined effects of worldwide recession and devastating earthquake, the expense of making good the damage wrought by overseas banks and movements of Romoko, however, need not Scapa, a project as important as safeguarding Mataranga Maori. Much can be achieved, for example, through attitudinal shifts and reprioritization, creating a greater role for kaitiaki communities in the care of tauna could well reduce the costs rather than increase them. In any event, the new bodies and frameworks we propose will provide no more than the platform for the conservation. The treaty requires an IP, the conservation, arts, and other areas. Experience shows us without such platform, these conversations simply do not occur, and we revert to the invisible Maori dimension of the 1950s. We would also be neglecting our duty to issue a report that called for a lesser standard of compliance with treaty obligations, given the straitened financial conditions. The vulnerability of Tauna and the Mātauranga Māori requires commensurate action, and it is our job to point that out. The fact is that a lack of support for Mātauranga Māori now will have serious consequences down the track. Every year, the number of kaumata raised in village communities and taught by tohunga diminishes. It was not uncommon for us to hear reference to an elder being the last to practice a particular skill. In these circumstances, the task of protecting Maori culture is urgent and cannot wait yet another decade. It is the government's prerogative to set priorities, but it is the treaty duty to actively protect Tauna. Tauna is like, I think my idea of Tauna is like Maori culture and Maori lands. That's kind of my understanding, and how that's important to keeping the treaty obligations. In fact, experience shows us that the Crown is prepared at times to share control of Tauna with kaitiaki. I don't actually know what kaitiaki means. I'm going to search that up. I've seen that word a lot. A guardian or trustee is typically of an environmental area or resource. Okay, interesting. Protect Mātauranga Māori and support the transmission of that Mātauranga to future generations. But that will is strongest by far when its exercise is directed to the settlement of historical treaty claims. These settlements today are delivering to iwi joint management of rivers, lakes, and Crown land, titled to areas of Crown land, including areas of cultural significance with conservation, estate, rights of cultural harvest, fossicking on conservation lands, accords over the care of physical Taura works, both when held by National Museum and as refound and subject to the Protected Objects Act, lump sum gifts toward the building of Whare Tauna, the restoration of traditional place names, a promise to record the authorship and significance of Kamate Ngāti Toa, the restoration and redevelopment of Mare, relationship agreements with a variety of government departments and ministers, and indeed the facilitation access to services and work programs across the whole of government. In the context of historical treaty settlements, therefore, the Crown is delivering to kaitiaki at least some of what claimant iwi are pursuing through this claim. Indeed, the range of cultural redress available under the settlement process has clearly expanded as the political urgency to settle claims has increased. Oh, this is quite a long document. This question as to what would happen if the settlement process did not exist. The failure ever to invoke Section 33 and 188 of the Resource Management Act in favour of iwi suggests that there would be little on offer. No one should infer from this that the recognition of kaitiaki interests should be contingent on the existence of historic agreements. The very existence of these unused provisions shows that the Parliament itself does not believe this. The fact that historical treaty settlements have become the principal vehicle for protecting Mātauranga Māori and Tauna leads to inevitable inconsistencies. It seems random and iniquitous, for example, that a haka might gain protection, but a motia such as popo might not.
We say this not from any ignorance of Ngati towards great concern over the commercial exploitation of Kawate, but because we believe that all Tano work should be entitled to the same kinds of protection. We also see the likely unfairness of some settled groups missing out on reforms of cultural redress, which are now a standard feature of treaty settlements, but which were strictly off the table at the time of their own negotiations, or smaller iwi missing out because they lack the political leverage to strike a good deal. A key issue arising from Y262, therefore, is how and whether the kind of provision for kaitiaki tanga and a Mataranga Maori to be found in the settlements process can be normalized before the process is over. As policy thinkers have observed, settlements offer a relatively protected environment in which to negotiate the ongoing Crown Maori relationship. But how will the nation cope when the convenient levers for establishing these new relationships will be gone? The ideal solution is to begin that process of normalization now. For one thing, this will help ensure durability of earlier and possibly less generous historical settlements. I don't even know if this is relevant for law. Moreover, the lesson of settlements is that there is nothing to fear from supporting Wataranga Maori and according to Kaitiaki interests appropriate recognition. The ongoing level of bipartisan parliamentary support for settlement legislation is proof enough of that. It is time to move forward. As a nation, we should shift our view of the treaty from that of a breach contract, which can be repaired in the moment, to that of an exchange of solemn promises made about our ongoing relationships. It is the process of historical settlements itself that allows us to shift our attention in this way from the past to the future. Y262 is fundamentally a claim about how the future should look. The timing of our report's release may thus prove propitious. After decades of profound social and political change, and a generation long focus on the resolution of past grievances, we are now ready to enter a new stage in the relationships. Altered demographics mean we must do this in any event. In the life of the nation of Maori are now more and much more to the fore, and there is no turning back from that. So while the treaty makes it a constitutional responsibility to adjust the Crown Maori relationship, even without the treaty, the country would have a social and political responsibility to do so. The number of Maori is predicted to rise to over 800,000 by 2026, which suggests that the total would nudge 1 million by mid-century. But 2 centuries of interactions, as well as rapid growth of Pacific and Asian populations, mean that demographic change is not simply about greater numbers of Maori. The nation is becoming more ethnically diverse than ever before, while at the same time some of the lines between Maori and Pākehā have become blurred. Inevitably, the treaty relationship will become more complicated. This does not lessen its relevance. However, in societies such as Australia and Canada, the issue of Aboriginal rights is no less important for their broad multiculturalism. And despite the blur in the middle, our two founding cultures remain distinct. Through the treaty, they provide us with a shared identity, giving us, on the one hand, our sense and right of place in the Pacific, and on the other hand, the legacy of the West. Their gravitational pull will remain strong enough to draw on newer cultures to them. We acknowledge that some New Zealanders feel a sense of unease about these ideas. After all, they require us to jettison some long-held assumptions about who and what we are. But these assumptions are becoming more and more difficult to sustain anyway. History and the future of both demand that we make the leap to acceptance of Maori culture and identity as a founding pillar of our national project. This is not just a matter of justice, though that it is, of course. Demographics, economics, and geopolitics suggest now that it is a matter of necessity. The signs are generally positive that we are now ready. There is a deep reservoir of goodwill between our cultures and much commonality. Maori culture is increasingly being embraced in the Pākehā mainstream in ways that would have seemed almost inconceivable a generation ago. There is a growing community realization that New Zealand wins when Maori culture is strong. We have the opportunity now to take this stage further through genuine commitment to the principles of the treaty. This implies not only kaitiaki control of tauna where that is justified, it also implies a genuine infusion of the core motivating principles of Mātauranga Māori, such as whanaungatanga and kaitikitanga, into all aspects of our national life. Such a commitment will not only fulfill at last the promise that was made when the Crown and Tangata Whenua entered the partnership at Waitangi, it will also pave the way for a new approach to the treaty relationship, as a relationship of equals, each looking not to the grievances of the past but with optimism to a shared future. It is, in other words, time to perfect the partnership. Basically, from my understanding, is this report seeks not to focus on the grievances of a breached contract in the Treaty of Waitangi, but it's actually seeking to unify the cultures of Pākehā and Māori to create a better future. It seems like there's a great emphasis on improving the the rights of the Maori over their own property, over their culture and lands, and their treasured possessions, which is tauna, both the tangible and intangible. And I think that's pretty important. So if I was to write something in my notes, I'd say conclusion of the report. Let's do it in one sentence. Seeks to have greater partnership between Māori and Pākehā. Conclusion of the report seeks to have greater partnership between Māori and Pākehā, allowing for desire for greater greater protection of Maori rights concerning tauna, including over lands and culture. Okay, what's with all this auto finish anyway? Seeks to have greater partnership between Maori and Pākehā, desire for greater protection of Maori rights in tauna, including over lands and culture. Is there anything else I need to know about Te Tiriti or Waitangi? Oh, there was notes about it. Where are the slides though? Oh, here we go. Oh, here are the slides. All right. and look back on the slides. I actually want to watch this video, but I'll do it later. Let's read Hail Whakapatanga. Test format. Oh, that was the other test, not this one. Oh, man. 10 more minutes of study. We can do this. We'll just do some revision. Oh, that's a focus session finished. I guess we can end it here. Oh, why is the mic so far down? Really can't hear me. Just drop the mic cover. Alright. Alright, let's just chill for a bit and read. I want to just relax for the next 10 minutes. Alright, just checking my phone.
Alright, let's look. Teteriti. Just look some quiet reading revision. Alright, let's look at this. I'm not really missing any information, am I? William Hobson was the first governor of New Zealand. Oh, here, this is important. Let's copy this in. Geof. Tongi. English. This is well. English. Somali. Article 1. T. Article 2. Undisturbed possession. Lands at estates. Preemption. Rights and privileges of British subjects. Kawana. Kawa. Tanga. Then Tino Rangatira Tonga, Tona. Tona, Ka, Tuku, Kite, Kuhini. Tikanga, Katoa, Raite. I don't even know what this means. Tahi, Ki, Tangata. Inga. Alright, I think that's good enough for today. Alright, thank you so much for joining me on today's study stream. I know it wasn't the most engaging stream, but I hope that we both learned something about the Y2 claim and more about the Treaty of Waitangi. I hope to see you next time. See you on Saturday, and cheers.